Hi, we have a very special guest with us. We have author, radio talk show host, and I'm very happy to say our strategic partner in the Villages, David Blackston, the founder of Blackston Financial. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Mark, glad to be here. Couldn't be anywhere else today. Love
Awesome.
to be here.
And we've got this book, and I want to tell everyone at home about it. And first of all, the title of the book, Have You Ever Been Bitten by an Elephant? The Definitive Guide for Retiring Well. Where did you come up with that name?
Mark, I was actually at a conference one time, and I heard Darren Hardy, friend of yours, friend of mine, brought that comment up. He said, how many of y'all out there have ever been bit by an elephant? And of course, everybody just kind of chuckled. And then he said, but I bet everybody here's been bit by a mosquito once before. And everybody went, yeah, we have. And he said, what happens to that mosquito bite the next day? Well, it itches. Well, what do you do when something itches? You scratch it, and if you scratch it too much, it'll bleed and you get sick. So I came back home and I thought, you know what, that would be a great title to a retirement book because of this. Most people aren't going to have an elephant bite in retirement that's going to get them. But they're going to have these little bitty nagging mosquito bites that if they don't take care of, they're going to become a big elephant bite. So that's the reason we did the book.
I love it. And there are 6 things that you mention that in this book that retirees and pre-retirees for that matter need to be aware of. How did you narrow it down to 6, and what are those 6?
Well, I tell you what, over the 22 years I've actually been in this industry, I've noticed these 6 issues just continually pop up. In fact, there's actually 7, and I didn't put 7 in there, but I think if we ever redo the book, I'm going to add it. So today, if you don't mind, I'm going to put 7 in there.
Great.
And really, I'm going to start from number 7, and I'm going to work my way back to number 1. Number 7 today is being in debt and being in retirement. I think that's a major problem. Too many people today, I'm starting to see in our area, sad to say, Mark, having to file bankruptcy. These are people 70, 75 years old because they're in debt, and they shouldn't be in debt. They need to work on getting out of debt. So being in debt is a big issue. Number 6 is not having a defined income plan. Too many people today retire and they're taking maybe income rather than guaranteed income. Now what I mean by that, if you're planning your income using something that fluctuates in value, what happens if that value drops and you're expecting your income to come from that? So not having a defined income plan is very important. Number 5 is not knowing how much you're paying in fees.
Killer, David. Can be an absolute killer to retirement, right?
It's amazing. I mean, how many people, let's take our area. One of the first things people buy when they move to the Villages is not a house, it's a golf cart. Well, I guarantee you those people, when they buy that golf cart, they don't go down and say, hey, I want that one. They ask what the price is. But why don't people ask their financial advisor what they're paying in fees? Too many people today are paying more in fees than they understand what they've got. Fees that are in the mutual funds, fees that might be in variable annuities, things that they don't understand. I jokingly like to ask people all the time that don't understand about their fees, I said, is your financial advisor in your will? Is he a beneficiary in your trust? And they'll look at me and they'll say, no. I said, then why are you giving him all this money and you don't know how much you're paying him? So you got to understand your fees. Number 4 is a biggie, not having a way to pay for long-term care. Now, Mark, I'm not talking about long-term care insurance because let's be realistic. Somebody 60 years old and older to actually take out long-term care insurance today is really probably not smart because of the price. But how are you going to pay for long-term care? Are you expecting your kids to take care of you? What's your deal? Because in this area, the average cost of long-term care is between $50,000 and $60,000 a year. What are you going to sell first to pay for your long-term care? Then we get into your investments don't match what you're trying to accomplish. Too many people today, I'll ask the question, what's the purpose of your money? They'll tell me, and then I'll look at their investments and I'm going, this didn't match anything you just told me. You said you need income, you're in products that don't generate income. You say I don't need income, you're in products that generate income. So plans don't match. Maybe the advisor's not listening. Second, I laugh about this a lot, but don't talk to your neighbors about your investments. Half the time, what they're advising you to go into, they don't have a clue. I had a lady one time come to me and she said, David, my neighbor, told me, and I thought, oh boy, here we go. He said, this is how to invest my money. I'll do this, 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 and this. And I said, well, let me ask you a question. Is this gentleman you're talking to, is he a financial planner or a registered financial consultant? What was his background? Where does he get this knowledge? She said, oh no, he's a retired postal worker. I said, postal worker? He can't deliver the mail on time. You're going to him for advice? So it's important not to talk to your neighbors about investing, because what they're doing might not be in your best interest. And number one, which I think today is so very important today for retirees, they're taking too much risk on their money. A lot of people that we interview, that we see, they're still investing as if they were 30 and 40 years old. They're investing to grow that money, and they're not thinking about the risk. I work off of a rule called the Rule of 100, which basically says if you're a conservative investor, you need to take your age, subtract it from 100. And whatever that percentage is, if you're conservative, that percentage is as much as you should have at risk on your money. So that's the 7 things we talk about in that book.
Well, I want to thank you for being honored, but I also want to let people know that I got a copy of the book before it was published, and I read it. And there's something in here for everyone. And the magic of this book for me, David, was that you've taken these very complex financial concepts and you put it in the language that anybody, and I mean anybody, can read and take away something from it. Can I get this book on Amazon.com? Can I get this book on any of the major online retailers?
Amazon.com right now is where you can get the book. Obviously, it's out there. You can get it on Kindle through, Amazon.com. You can get a Kindle on it. You can do it that way. You can actually call our office. We'll be more than glad to send it to you.
And we'll put up that number.
Yeah, we'll be more than glad to send it to you postage paid, no matter where you're at. We'll be glad to do that for you.
David, thanks so much. The book is called Have You Ever Been Bitten by an Elephant? The Definitive Guide for Retiring Well. Get yourself a copy. Thanks so much.
Thank you.